Alright, so today we're going to solve quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Alright, so let's begin. Okay, we are required to solve this quadratic equation, x squared minus 3x plus 2 equals 0. So just some back information on quadratic equations before we proceed. A quadratic equation is of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Now, this is the standard form of the quadratic equation, where a, b, c are called the numerical coefficients and x is the unknown variable. The quadratic formula, if you were to use that to solve this equation, this would be the result: x equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So this would actually produce two values for x. So before we actually solve any quadratic equation, we need to actually establish what are the values of the numerical coefficients. And we do that by just comparing the quadratic equation, the standard form of the quadratic equation, with the actual quadratic equation. So if we put them side by side and we compare, we should get a is equal to 1, b is equal to minus 3, c is equal to 2. Right? So once we get those values now, we put them here. Alright, let me write them here at the bottom here. A is equal to 1, b is equal to 3, minus 3, and c is equal to 2. And we now plug that into the quadratic formula. So wherever we see b or a or c, we actually replace them with those values. A equals 1, b is equal to minus 3, c is equal to 2. So let's do that. X is equal to minus b, so b is equal to 3, so minus 3 is equal to 3. So let's just leave everything in, minus 3 plus or minus 3 squared minus 4. A is equal to 1 and c is equal to 2 all over 2, 1. And when we reduce that, we're going to end up with minus 3, which is 3, plus or minus square root of 3 squared minus 3 squared equals 9, minus 4 by 1 is 4, and 4 by 2 is what? 8, all over 2. And we go further, and I'm taking this into long steps just to make sure that you understand. 3 plus or minus 1 over 2, right, equals 3 plus or minus square root of 1 is equal to 1 over 2. So therefore, the answer is equal to, x is equal to 3 plus 1 over 2, or 3 minus 1 over 2. And that results in 3 plus 1 is 4 over 2 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2, over 2 is equal to 1. And that's the solutions. 2 and 1. And that was pretty simple. It's just as easy as just plugging in the values for a, b, c into the quadratic formula, and that's the solution. Alright, so I'll see you all on another episode of Dr. George Logic.